Hello there, health coaches. Today, I have my fingers crossed that my contractor doesn't start ripping the siding off my house until after this episode is recorded. In fact, when I hired him, I actually hesitated. Like it crossed my mind to tell him that he wasn't going to be able to do any work on Tuesdays because what if the noise messed up my podcast? Like, what would I do instead? Where would I go to record? I have all these thoughts going through my head. I don't have another quiet place to do my show from. What if this? What if that? And that is the exact kind of thinking that I want to kind of squash today in today's episode. I want to tell you about the mindset that has kept me moving forward for 15 years. The mindset that built my successful health coaching practice and continues to build my business, even when there's work getting done on the house, even when my babies were born, even when I got divorced, even on days when I'm tired and exhausted and frustrated. I think it is human nature to worry and doubt and kind of want the whole path laid out in front of us before we take a step forward. I don't have to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. That's not how it works. So, I originally did this episode live into my Facebook group like I do every week. And I was halfway through the episode and my Zoom just cut out and the whole live stream got ended early. And so here I am re-recording. But when I initially was live in the group, I said, tell me in the chat what you've been doubting and overthinking and worrying about in your business. And for all of you listening and watching, what have you been doubting and overthinking and worrying about in your business? And as Usaina was over here in the chat before the whole thing bombed, and she said she is most doubtful of her tech skills, right? And that's a very, very common one. And we go, well, what if I can't do this? What if I'm no good at that? Right. And it would keep you so stuck. So we're going to keep coming back to this idea today of losing the what ifs. Now, in the last two episodes that we did here on the show, I had my friend Jana on with me talking about content creation. Now, if you missed those episodes, obviously you can go back and listen. But Jana and I have actually put together a free training, and it's coming up next week. We want to help you establish yourself as an expert through the content that you create. And you can sign up for free. It's at healthcoachpower.com/expert. And so we were speaking about creating long form content on your blog, on your podcast, on your YouTube channel, and what kinds of content lead to actual paying clients. There's so much to learn about creating content. First of all, I've been doing it in various forms since 2006. I mean, my entire business started as a little hobby blog. Now, of course, we do a podcast episode every week, but there's a lot to learn, a lot that comes with experience. So we want to give you a head start. And that free registration, again, is at healthcoachpower.com/expert. Well, in response to last week's episode, I saw a comment from Beth. And Beth, I'm so sorry. I didn't even see the comment until like yesterday in our Facebook group. But it struck me that Beth was kind of doing what I had started to do with my contractor and what so many health coaches do every single day. And it really keeps us stuck. It's all those what ifs. What if this? What if that? And it's never positive either. It's never like, what if I'm amazing? Or what if I succeed wildly with this? It's always something terrible. What if I fail? What if I mess up? So she said, what if you don't feel like you're a good writer? Right. So we're talking about starting a blog. She says, what if you're not a good writer? Should you pursue, creating videos or starting a podcast instead? And of course, I can answer this in like the more serious and expected way. Like, of course, you should choose the medium that you feel comfortable with. But today I want to challenge the what if. Like, are you really not a good writer? Like, what if you are? What if you just need some practice or to learn some skills? Everybody does. Nobody writes their first blog post and it's like amazing. And even if you are, whether you are or you aren't a good writer, what if, right? What if you're amazing on camera? Like, I want to explore all those positive what ifs. Maybe Beth sits down to record a YouTube video and it just comes really naturally for her. Or same thing with podcasting. And I don't know. I don't know the answer. None of us do. All we can do is try. Like, try writing, try using chat gpt to help, that can be a huge help. Try hiring an editor or having a friend help edit your writing, or try recording yourself, see how that feels. But the point is to do something, do anything. You just take that next step and you learn from it. And that is literally what I've been doing for 15 years. Because when you are running your own business, you're creating this business from scratch. There's no, like, I don't have a boss who's done it all before and is going to tell me exactly what to do every day. I just kind of got to figure it out. So you take the step, you learn from it, you collect data every time that you take an action in your business, and then you just do it again. And you don't necessarily know what comes next. In fact, you often don't know. So I'm not going to say that Beth was spiraling here. I don't think she was, but it is very easy to kind of spiral downward and do nothing when we get stuck in those negative what ifs. And I see it all the time with health coaches. It's like, I can't start my mailing list because what if people get annoyed that I'm emailing them? Or I can't start my blog because I don't know what to write about. I could never figure out what to write about, right? It's just an insurmountable hurdle. Or even before all of that, maybe it's I can't go to school to even become a health coach because what if this is all malarkey and I'll never find any clients? And it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I want to ping back to what Azucena had said over in the Facebook group earlier when she said, she's not good with technology. There's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So instead of telling yourself that, you have to practice. What am I pretty good with when it comes to technology? What have I learned to do? Where can I get support around the stuff that I have to learn? Okay, so that's all the what ifs. And then Beth went on in her questioning and she said, when it comes to, creating content, she said, I don't have a website. Where would people find my blog or my YouTube channel? And the short answer is search and organic reach. Like, that's going to bring traffic to your stuff. That means people Googling and finding your stuff, or people sharing your stuff because they like it so much. And that happens all the time. But the longer answer is, I guess I just want to challenge this barrier. I don't have a website. Like, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here and coming up with all the reasons it can't work. It can't possibly work. I don't have a website. And we do this all the time. I do it all the time too, right? Like, our brain just starts jumping ahead. Just like, with my house, I'm thinking, I don't have anywhere else quiet to work. How can I possibly hire a contractor to replace my windows? I guess I'm just going to have to live with these old, drafty windows forever. Or I hear things from health coaches like, I'm not good at social media. Guess I can't do any marketing. Or, we just start coming up with different blocks. I can't because, I can't because, I can't because. And like, 9 times out of 10, if we're asking these questions like Beth was, they're not bad questions, but they're not the questions that are going to move you forward. Having to know everything, that is a real barrier to making progress. Like, you're not going to see the finish line when you get started on something really great. I promise you, you're going to have no idea where that finish line is at all, or even what direction it's in. You just have to start. And so what I want to say to Beth is, Beth, you're probably going to start a website if you start creating content. And it doesn't have to be a big deal, but your blog has to live somewhere, right? And I don't know where all your traffic traffic is going to come from, because I don't know what topics you're going to write about. And I don't know if it's going to be stuff that people are searching for. But if you take Jana's content advice in next week's webinar, most likely you're going to get search traffic, you're going to get organic reach. Or maybe, again, I don't know, but maybe Beth is going to do an amazing job promoting her content on Instagram. Like, we just don't know yet. How could we? Like, Beth hasn't written a single word yet or shot a single video. And once you start, then you start to figure it all out from there. It just kind of cascades. So it's exciting. It's exciting to not know. You might say it's scary, but I'm going to have you reframe that as it's exciting. My point is that all the answers that you're wondering about, how does this lead to that? And how do I get there? And how do I make that work with this? And what about next year? And what about the year after? It all starts to reveal itself when you take a step forward and you do something. Like, I just had to decide to go ahead and hire the contractor. I'm not even really sure what I was going to do if the noise was unbearable, but I'll figure it out as it comes. And who knows? Maybe taking off all the siding won't be as loud as I thought after all, right? Back in 2006, when I had my little hobby blog, I had no clue what I was doing with it. I barely even understood what a blog was. But I realized that in addition to writing blog posts, I could add photos. So, like, that was the next step that day. I was like, what photos can I take? How do I upload a photo? This was all brand new to me. And I didn't know, I could not have known how that little blog would turn into my first clients a few years later. And it would launch my entire business. And here I am, almost 20 years since I started that blog. I never could have known that there would be this thing called podcasting, and I would record myself talking to a camera every week. Like, what? That wasn't the plan. I could never have conceived of that plan. And if I could have seen that whole staircase, I would have been really overwhelmed by it. I probably wouldn't even believe that it was true. So what you want to do is just take that next step, the one that's right in front of you that you can actually feel. Like, it's concrete enough that you can do that one little thing. I have to remind myself of this all the time, because we get anxious and we want to do everything perfectly. It's like that paralysis that comes with the need to get it right. Even putting together this training with Jana next week, like, I thought it would be helpful to share content creation ideas with all the health coaches in my audience. That's you. And Jana's really great. I knew she would have so much to offer, but gosh, what would the topic be of our presentation? And what would we speak about? And how long would it be? And what day would it be on? And what time? And all the details. That can just put you into paralysis mode. So what did I have to do? I had the idea, that next little step. I had to ask Jana if she even wanted to do it. Hey, are you interested in this? That's all. And then from there, we figured the rest out. And luckily she said yes. And so hopefully you'll join us next week. But no matter what project you're considering, this is my best advice: to not know, to not feel like you have to know all the things. If there's an idea, if there's a project, something that resonates with you on some level, it feels interesting to you, take the next logical step towards figuring it out. For me, it was just asking Jana, are you interested? It can be as simple as that. So for Beth, start a free blog somewhere, anywhere online, a Squarespace account, a Wix account, whatever. You don't even have to tell anyone about it. Just start writing. See where it takes you. Maybe you will surprise yourself. Or set up your phone, shoot your first video, right? That's a big step. You did that? Okay. Well, now I have a video. What am I going to do next? Oh, I'll have to figure out how to edit it. Oh, okay, cool. Now I did that. What's the next step? Maybe learning how to upload it to YouTube, right? So don't worry about how it's going to unfold weeks, months, years from now. just that next thing. And the weird thing that happens is, the intention might be like, oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Maybe Beth learns that doing a video is easier than she expected, and she starts doing more. And she does them for social media, and she hosts a webinar because, now she's comfortable on camera. Maybe that YouTube channel never even happens, but she starts signing clients every week through webinars. So that's what I mean by you can't possibly see the whole path ahead of you. So think about what's been tripping you up. Like, what are you overthinking, doubting, worrying about instead of just doing and doing poorly? Let's just get it out there. Like that very first blog post of mine, or like the first 30, they were not great. Beth's first video, it's probably not going to be her best work ever. Of course, that's normal. That's how the process goes. So, how can you just take that next logical step, do it imperfectly? And I promise you, this is literally the only way forward. It's the only way to learn what you need to know is by doing the thing. And you just got to do it before you feel ready to do it. Like it's in taking the action. That's how you build the confidence, not in scratching your head and asking questions and thinking about taking the action. So, are you with me? We're going to stop looking for the whole staircase to appear. It's not going to. And I will see you next week, either here on the show for our free content creation or for our free content creation training to turn you into an established expert, because that is happening next week too. And maybe that's your next most logical step. So I'll see you either on the show or in the training. Again, you can sign up for free at healthcoachpower.com/expert. That's the end of my rant today. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you all soon. Take care.